Our kids are going to see, as we heard, technology become 1 trillion times more powerful. That's if it doubles every year, 2 to the 40th is 1 trillion. So the difference between the mainframe that filled this room and the cell phone, the mobile phone in your pocket, is 1 billion. We're going to see that again and another 1,000 times. And today we're already at the atomic level. Many of you have seen this IBM logo. Those are individual xenon atoms. You're looking at atoms there. Well, that seems remarkable, except more important, it was done 20 years ago. Today, we have this. See that black bar going across the screen? That's a hair. Pull out a hair from your head. Or if you want to, your neighbor's head. That little tiny thin thing is that black part on the screen. In the corner, taking up less than 1/10 of that, is the nano machine. The nano machine, which is going to be very shortly more powerful than your mobile phone. And those things are going to be running through our body, running through the environment, changing tons of things. The tools come fast. If you haven't heard of the last tool, MoSoSo, mobile social software. None of these tools were here 10 years ago, but they go fast. So what does a teacher do? What does an educator do? They don't have time to learn all this stuff and then to use it. We have to figure out strategies. And then it gets worse because these are our future students, right? My kid's had an iPhone since he was 3, but now they're starting even earlier. Here's a birthday party. Think of that as the people we're educating. Are you going to tell them they can't use their phones? This is my kid.
Do you have an iPhone? Yes. What do you do with your iPhone?
I play games, I listen to music, and do video cards.
Here's one of his videos.
Welcome to an amazing show with me. Do you live in Astronaut Park? No. New York City. Do you live in Australia? No, New York City. Do you live in London? No, New York City.
Now, he knows where he lives. But more importantly, that's what our kids are coming to school knowing how to do. They can do this stuff. Do we have an education that meets their needs? That's the question. Is it a good thing for them to start this early? And when I watched him teach himself phonics and teach himself how to write on his iPhone, it's absolutely important if we can have balance, and we have to be able to afford it. They're going to see in their lifetime control of machines directly with their minds. That is here today. You go to the video game store, you can buy them. They're going to see cash disappear. Their mobile phones become their wallets. Implanted and wearable devices. They're going to see technology become 1 trillion times more powerful, and probably technology become more powerful than the human brain. They were born to this idea of rapid change in ways that we just weren't. And that's one of the things that makes this transition really hard. When you ask the kids how often should we change our teaching style, and we did this last night, well, the older kids say maybe once a year. The younger kids, every day. Every day. And we have to figure out how to do that. It means that we can't use the old stuff. We can't make a set of lesson plans and notes and use them for 20 years, as many of our teachers do today. So my first thought about transforming education, the one I want to leave you with, is that we need to get our students prepared for the context of continuous change. And we need to stay incredibly flexible as we do this. We're going to need to meld the good from the past and the fast-changing future. This is my favorite quote. We need to show reverence for the past, but not live in it. And we certainly don't want our students to go to school and be attending suddenly the 19th century. How do we do that? I've got a couple of ideas. One is to think in terms of verbs and nouns. We tend to think of our new things, our technology, our tools, as nouns. Should we use PowerPoint, email, Wikipedia, YouTube? Should we use an iPhone, whatever? Those are nouns. And they're tools, but they're tools to do something. They're tools to accomplish and learn skills. PowerPoint's a tool for presenting. Email's a tool for communicating. Wikipedia is a tool for learning. What's key is that the verbs, the skills, stay more or less the same. That's how we preserve the past. But the nouns change rapidly, especially going forward. So PowerPoint for presenting will change to Flash or something else. Communicating emails change to texting and Twitter. For learning, Wikipedia's change to YouTube, might change to something else. These things are going to change. The verbs stay the same. We want our kids to think critically and present logically and communicate and to make good decisions, etc. But the nouns are all over the place. And ideally, we'd like our kids to use the latest, most up-to-date noun for the various skills we're teaching. They need the best way to network, the best way to communicate, present, calculate, learn, etc. So as teachers, what are the key verbs and skills are what we need to ask, and there's lots of them. And then, what nouns do we use today? What other nouns could we use? And are we using the best ones? That's what we have to ask ourselves. So if a teacher says, and we have in the States a lot of very good teachers who say, I'd never use another textbook for learning, for teaching, and we have a lot of students, you may have some of these here, who say, I never use my textbooks to learn, then we have to ask ourselves, is that the right noun to be using? Should we be spending any money at all on textbooks? So don't overinvest. Again, stay flexible. A lot of our kids say, they come to school and they say, when I come into the building, I have to power down. And they don't mean their devices. They mean their brains. They mean they get to do more powerful stuff outside of school than they do inside of school. They carry things like this, hugely powerful tools. They want their education to not only use those tools, but use them in a real way, which is very different than what's often heard, education should be relevant. Real means you can affect outcomes. Just like kids can choose the winner of whatever you call America's Idol, Spain's Idol, whatever you call it, they can vote. They know they can do that. They can affect the politics in the country. They can make changes. They can make companies change. Here's what I recommend that we do, that the students do. I recommend that starting today, all our students start a Twitter campaign to eliminate